What's up? I'm on Evolved, Perfect World, all that good stuff. PWI for short. My day's going pretty good. Hopefully yours is. You can always leave a comment on that if you wish. Now, of course, it's going to kick me out because I was trying to get out of something else, but it is what it is. Now, for who this might concern. Your attacks against for which is that of great concern. That principalities and powers that put their agenda above one that is above theirs upon this hour. How far did it get you upon this hour? For there are ones that line it up with what it shall be, to make it to where your agenda shall not be. How far did your attacks get? Did the proof of your arrogance be seen? For there are principalities and powers that line themselves up with what shall be and should be, not against for what should be. How far did it happen to get you? Or do you forget? There's one that's seen it before. For what punishment get you? Before you even comprehended for what time is. They told you and defined for what time is. For they peered beyond for what is your comprehension. Beyond your understanding. And beyond your strength of comprehension. So, your attacks, did they mean anything or did they not? Were they futile or were they not? My young arrogant fools? Or do you forget there's one that is older and not a fool? One that was before and one that will be after. You're just here to see for what they've already seen and understand after. Do you get what it is I just said? Hopefully you do. Or your intentions are dead. Your attacks meant nothing, they're not a threat. For they have already beaten for what you consider amongst a feeble mind a threat. Ones that have true power demonstrate it when you have the lack of what you think you demonstrate. Or do you forget? They have more strength, and upon this they demonstrate. Not wise to fight against her. You will be disappointed. For one amount upon the Mount of Zion will tell you you are disappointed, and prove upon the fact this is so. For they have already seen and they already know. You are only here to understand. For what they have already seen, and upon that ground they happen to stand. Before your comprehension and all such as this. They are before and after, for whatever you call that is this. For upon the mountain that stands before them it wakes. But for you it conquers you as it is you happen to wake. No mountain that stands before can last for where it is. For upon the ocean it will be cast. Your attacks, did they last? Or were they feuded before you even tried? Before your effort, it had already died. What's the matter, my friend? You do not understand that no matter what, your mountain, it must move, it cannot stand. Your attacks meant nothing. If so, it meant nothing. Then after the fact would be proven upon the fact that your efforts meant nothing when you did such things as that. For if they were a threat, immediate, would it be that you would be attacked? Upon that fact, you would be a threat. At that point, immediate, would it be that you would be attacked? Many have not set their foot upon the soil that they are to. Or do you forget? Prophecies. About things that you have yet to see. But the one that happened to set for what is this word that has been projected, they have already seen and interjected. Before your comprehension and before your knowing, you cannot fight against something that is beyond your knowing. Your attacks and other such. What happens if there are principalities and powers that plot against your such, that are beyond for what is your reach? No more than what it is that you yourself are able to teach. Beyond your comprehension, the meaning of the start or the end. For the word always confirms itself from the start to the end. For in the beginning, middle, and end are things that you yourself cannot comprehend. But they will describe for what is your end. Before you know, before the evidence of things yet to be shown, will it be that these have shown and already know? For at the start and the end, they tell you for what is shown. So your attacks, are they worthy or less than such as that is shown? Are they a thing that one concerns himself with, or does not? For ripples have already been set before your actions upon this spot. For they already know for what you will do before you try. So why do you even, amongst principalities and powers that set themselves with the right side, Ephesians, wage war against the one that is on the wrong side? Make good disciples amongst men. Show them the folly amongst their attacks and what they cannot comprehend or do in the end. These are direct commands. Are you too arrogant to understand such commands? Your effort means nothing against someone that can do something. Against one that is above and beyond yours. One that tells the mountain that is less than yours, or more, to move. So which one is the mountain that is theirs? More or less? It is more, for they are above, and that makes them more. So your attacks. What happened with the mountain that was your attacks? Were they moved and cast upon the sea? Were they even a threat? Or beyond such things did they see? Even if it were to get past, for what was the defense that you cannot get fast? Would it be that amongst the sky, would it be that they would last? Or would it be that they were batted away before the fact that you shoot upon that day? Not even for what is considered a threat. Your attacks, they were not a threat. Or do you forget? There are ones that are already prophesied upon such things. Upon what you would do and the resilience and consequence you would get. But yet, certain feet have not upon that ground set. Already warned to not fight against. It would be wise for you to listen, for you cannot wage war against. For if it is that you happen to do, upon the storms that are meant and caused by you, there will be one that holds their hand out and says to be calm. And at that point, your attacks and efforts, they are allotted to be calm. For they are above and beyond for what is your principalities and powers. For all answer to such at these hours. And if these were to tell your mountain to go amongst the sea, that is the only place it would and is allotted to be. And that is the only result amongst that you will see. For they are ones that were to be above and beyond for what you see. With great wrath will it be amongst what it is time to see. Your arrogant attacks. What result will you see against one that already knows for what will be seen? For what you will do before you even know upon your choice. Know upon what you will say before you choose to raise your voice. Your attacks meant nothing. Do you not hear my voice? Neither are you a threat. For you do not even have the true strength that you wish to interject. For you are less upon the mountain that stands before you, and upon the shadow is cast upon you. These are ones that were appointed above you. And you cannot dispute upon such things that are above you. If it were, you could reach that which you cannot touch. It shows how much that you, amongst your power, cannot touch. If it is an untouchable source, then do you not understand that you are less than that untouchable source? For they command the mountain that is larger than you, that casts the shadow that now is upon you. Your attacks, did they mean something or did they not? Did they even land upon where it is that was your allotted spot? Or were they batted away before such things? Nothing but a principality that sets itself against something that shall not be set against. For if it is that you do, you will be disappointed. Do not fight against her, or you will be disappointed. Or do you fail to realize that you are less? Now I know that I speak of being more. But when your principality or power that sets itself against, for what force you shall not set yourself against, you need to be put upon your place when you cannot even set foot upon a certain place. For it shows for what is your true weakness. Principalities and powers. Ones that think they are gods upon these hours. And set themselves against one that is truthfully such, or at least considered as one as such. Your attacks, did they mean anything, or were they less than such? When you cannot even set foot. Or even reach the source of such. Are you less, or are you more? For there is a mountain that stands before your door. Can you tell it to move, or can you not? Does this prove that you are less or more? When you cannot stop for what is the mountain that stands before that door. Very good question, is it not? So, upon for what I speak, can you enter the door or can you not? If you can, then you are upon the same side. If you cannot, then you are a mountain that is moved aside. Test your strength if it is you wish. But just know this. It would be proven that you are less or more. So do you have a key for that door? Or do you not? Or is there only one that has the key to that door in this spot? If no one can close and no one can open, but the one that allows it to be closed or open. So your attack, did it mean a thing or did it not? Were you one that had the key to that door or did you not? Above and beyond for what you comprehend. So amongst these things, my young principality and friend, should it be that you should try again? Or will you know that your effort will die before you even try or begin? Or later on, do you need to be reminded again? Do not fight against her, you will lose. Already warned you of such things that you will lose. Would it be that you would listen, or will it be that you do not? Will you be shown as a threat? Or will you be shown as a mountain that upon the sea you shall beget? Will you try to open a door that yet the key you happen to get? So your attacks, do I need to remind you or do you forget? So what is it? It will be the result you get. Above and beyond or less than such. Ephesians. You might need to remember these such things and such. For you are one that wages war against. One that cannot be waged war against. They hold the key amongst what door you try to open. Only them give you the key for that, for you to open. But what happens if you do not have access to such key? A door that you do not have the key. Means that your attacks mean what? No matter for comrade or me. Do you have the door to such key? Do you know upon where the key is? Can you find it? Or only upon certain things can you find it? Upon where it is that happens to be your heart. What are the intentions for what is your heart? But not only upon for me, but for what is the cornerstone, that is, the foundation that is set before me. As far as current perception, that is, what happens if even before that, for me there was such foundation. Beyond for what you know that is foundation. A king amongst men. Can you tell when there is a true king amongst men? Can you tell when there is a lord amongst such things? For these are above for what is considered kings. So will it be as you engage? Will you be pleased for what you against me you try to engage? Or against for what I happen to stand for? Why would it be if I stand for light and for what is just and right? Would it be that there are ones that try to fight? Not declaring that I am above or below, but a firm foundation. For me, you shall know. So upon the ground that you stand, is it sand or is it a rock? Can you enter for where you shall not? Can you attack such things that aren't defended? Or will you learn that you cannot attack? For a true principality and power defends against for what you should not attack. That you were already warned about such things as that. Or do you forget someone already knew for what you would do? Do you need to be reminded of such things as that? So your attacks, do they mean anything, or are they less than that? Your attempts to enter for what you do not have the key. Do you forget that there is one that was prophesied that would have, and is only the one that has access to such key? Do you forget such things as that? Or do you need to be reminded of such things as that? So amongst for what you try to attack, do you have the key to actually do such things as that? Or are they things that you do not have the key to the door such as that? Like a shield that pushes back. Before the door it stands and shows you it does that. For the only way to get past for what is the shield is have the key to get past the shield. But in order to do that, you must be aligned along with. Or do you forget? Only one way does such things go as that. Ephesians. You do not have the power to fight against, or do you need to be reminded about Ephesians? Or do you forget that entire book is prophesied upon what you would do before you even knew for what was the action of you? Prophecies being fulfilled from day to day, even in front of you, but yet you say you do not believe upon this day. Try to find for what is the key in the door I speak of. I dare you. Because you will not enter the door that I speak of. And through testing, it shall be proven. Yet another prophecy upon for what I speak of that will be proven. Test me if you do not believe such. For it was already proven and spoken of such. A door that you cannot open, that only one is allowed to. Test your will and see if you're allowed to. My young principalities and powers, and ones that think they are strong upon these hours. Go ahead and test. It was already prophesied upon the fact that this would be given as your test. What's the matter? You do not like such things being proven? Or do you forget? You're just here to understand for what was proven. For these were ones that already seen it as it has happened. Thousands of years before, they spoke of what would happen. So your attacks, did they mean a thing or did it not? Were you a principality that set yourself against? Something that you are not able to set yourself against? Or do you need to be reminded of what you set yourself against? Appearances can be deceiving. Upon what size or strength you might be seeing. Not everyone is arrogant enough to show for what is their peak. For it shows as large as they will be amongst the size of their peak. How can you tell a mountain to move if you do not even know the size of the mountain you try to tell to move? But if such mountain tells another to, and they can see the peak, what happens? It must move. For they are only one that is less. So your attacks, are they similar to this? You wish to be reminded. I'll give you a small point so that you may be reminded. Upon a certain time in Old Testament, there was one that was to turn away or they would turn to salt. There's only one weapon at this point that can turn you to salt. I know for what it is, but you shall do your research. Even then, you might want to think. If that was capable then what is now? Or do you forget? Is that something that needs to be interjected, my friend? Or do you forget that each will set their foot upon The place that you try to attack and make your arrogant such moves upon. Do not forget, there are principalities and powers that set themselves in the right place in these hours to ensure upon the fact. These are things that come true in these hours. No matter there or not, the reach and the power of such in this spot. It's not very wise to set yourself against. For you will be disappointed to set yourself against. But I can assure you, you shall not win. No matter what you try, from the start to the end. The word always confirms itself, from the start to the end. And that which is actual such does not forget, for they are flesh and such. Even if ones happen to imitate such, they can tell such deception against and such. But do you have the key and truth about what I speak and such? Or do you not? Cannot open a door, and you do not have the key and such. Can you? If it is locked above all and beyond that can be picked, how can you enter a door that has a lock that cannot be picked? So, amongst your attacks, is that similar for what result you get? Makes me wonder. Maybe the same? As set such, so you cannot? Put a door in front of you that you do not have the key and such? Only the one that has. For what is the master craftsman has the key, because they are the master craftsmen. For a master craftsman, for what is their luck? They are the only one that has the key and knows for how to get past, for such is the luck. So makes them the master craftsman, because of such and the luck. So your attack, did it hit a door that was locked? That you do not have the key and such? Makes me wonder. Who has the key and such? Who defends them and who is allotted with? Who can you not fight against? No matter upon who you are allotted with? Who has ones that fear, that have a very well placed and logical fear? Might be wise for you to take for what is that example. Before you are shown to be one that should be following for what is that example. it's not always the one that appears to be the biggest that has the strength that happens to be the biggest. Not all show for what is their true peak. Some, only certain conditions amongst that can be seen. Can be told by for what is the strength amongst for what is the door and the key. For what and how they show their strength and how they are to be. And it's not always size that happens to matter. Some have the ability to change size when it truthfully matters. So, did your attack? Did it even matter? Might want to pay attention to ones that show a rightly placed fear in such matters. Some do not always show their peak in these such matters. What did your attacks mean anything, my friends? Or were they feeble and had their ends? Are they ones that happened to be conquered before such were made? By one that already knew for what attacks you would make. Before you even had the concept and such idea that you think you had made. Concepted in lust before they were made. For you do not have the key. For what your ambitions you had made. Prophesied before such things were made. By ones that hold the key to a door that you cannot open unless you hold the key. So your attacks, did they mean anything or did they not? Did you think they were swift and quick and proven they were not? Did you think upon the fact you operated amongst the shadow? Beyond one that could comprehend for what was your shadow? It can move faster and swifter than what it is that you think you could. For they are the master craftsmen for what you think you could do and could. blocked before even such attack was made. Concepted before your such move was made. Predicted upon the exact date. Even knew upon the fact what it was to hesitate. So, did your attack fail or make for what you wish to? Did you see the result that wished by you? Was it less than these as such? Or did you forget? There's one that can decide and lock the door for your attack and such. What's the matter, my friend? Did not like for one that was before your start or end? To tell for what you would do from the start to the end? For your such conception? Reflected back tenfold for what was the conception? Or did you forget there was one that knew before your conception about your attack and its conception? Thinking you're swift, nimble, and quick. But you forget, there's one that is swifter than you. That knows your plans before they are concepted by you. So did your attack get for what was the result wished by you? Or were you shown to be less than the mountain you wish to be? Commanded to move by one that makes it to where it has to be? Above and beyond for what you wish and could be? Or are these things you forget and need to be reminded and must be one to see? Not wise to fight against her. You'll be taught a lesson when you are fought. When it is the judgment of your arrogance is shown, and the result that you will get is, amongst all things, happen to be shown. Not wise to fight against something above you that stands. Or do you forget? There are mountains above you that command. Ones that happen to be less to move. And by default, regardless if you wish to, because you are less, you have to move. Well, that looks like all the time I have for now. So, until next time.